Hey there, Scotty Doo here. I've got an update on my first print that I created in CAD that I printed on the new K1 Max. Very excited about it, wanted to share it with you. I had a couple issues and some conclusions that I wanted to share that'll hopefully help all of you out. So, first things first, my son has these Lego Marios you might have seen, but something cool, you can get the suits on the internet and 3D print them, which is something I did. I downloaded it off internet, printed it off, and worked great. And one thing that my son said immediately was, hey, it doesn't have the penguin hat or the penguin flippers that attach to his arms. So I said, well, shoot, how about I try and design and print it myself, because those aren't available online. It's just the suits. But the attachments that come with it, no one's bothered to mess with that or post them. So I thought I'd try and do that as my first project, and I was able to do it. With a couple caveats. I had multiple iterations of the arms. I can show you here what came out. I'm very happy with how it came out, but it snaps right on and it works like it should. However, it's a little loose, so it's supposed to be a pretty nice fit to slide in, but it slides in and out very easily. And I thought I measured this really well for the connection point for his arm, and I'll show you what I actually did. So I took a regular Lego and I took my digital caliper. If you ever have one of these, it's from Harbor Freight. It's fairly cheap and works very well. But if you measure on here to something that will attach to Mario's arm, you get 3 millimeters. So let's see if I drew that right on in CAD. So this is AutoCAD. I'm going to do a DI for distance, and I'm going to get the bottom quadrant and the top quadrant of this post, and the delta Z on there is 3 millimeters. So why is that not fitting tighter in his arm? Well, let's take a look at what I printed. So it shows on the computer 3 millimeters. That was what was sent to the printer. What do we have here? If you see that, it's 2.8, 2.9, depending on where it's measured. 2.7 even. And that is why it's not fitting quite right. So it's anywhere from point 0.1 to 0.3 millimeters smaller than what was specified on the computer. And that is something that is pretty typical for CNC machining. It's called a cutter compensation. So if you design a cutter path on a piece of material, you have to compensate for the diameter, or actually the radius, of the cutting drill itself, the end effector. So if you have a path that needs to go down, one line, well, you have to, in the code, tell it to move over by the radius of the cutter bit, or else you will be off by the radius of the bit. So you can physically tell it to move it over, or there's a code that you can do for cutter compensation. I don't think that's an option here in 3D printing in general. It's not something that I've seen. So what can we do about that? Well, all you got to do is, keep in mind, print something off at a nominal dimension, print it off here, and measure it. In most cases, 0.1 to 0.2 millimeters is not going to make a big difference. When you have kind of an interference tolerance fit like this for Mario's arm, it does make a difference. So what we're going to do is just know that it's going to print 0.1 to 0.2 millimeters smaller than what you specify on CAD and transfer over to the printer. So all you got to do is, in this case, make the diameter of this post 0.1 to 0.3 bigger, print it off, and see if it fits better on Mario. So hope that's a good pointer for all you guys. And if you want to see me go through the start to finish design process of how I made this, taking measurements, looking at a picture, and then physically drawing it, and some of the nuances of what it took to get through there. I went through many iterations to get to this point, different thicknesses, different sizes, to see what would fit. I'd be happy to do that. I'm hoping I can inspire you guys to go after some things that you want to look at. So if you like that idea, please put it in the comments. If there's new stuff you want to see, I'm pretty good with CAD. Hopefully you can see that. I would love to be able to show you guys anything that you're having trouble with and help out any way I can. So thanks so much. Take care.